A protest was held in front of the British High Commission today to condemn British Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs David Miliband's participation at the Global Tamil Forum conference held on the 25th of February in London. Protesters say the Global Tamil Forum is a proxy organisation of the Tamil Tigers.
මේ මාතෘභූමිය නැවත බෙදන්න දෙමළ ජාතිවාදී බෙදුම්වාදයට යලි පණ දෙන්න මේ රට දෙකඩ කරලා අස්ථාවර කරලා ඔවුන්ගේ අභිමතාර්ථ ඉටු කරගන්න ඔවුන් තවදුරටත් දකිනවා නම් හීනයක් ඒ හීනිය සැබෑවෙන්න අපි ඉඩ තියන්නේ නැහැ කියන අදිෂ්ඨානයයි අද අපි මේ පළ කරන්නේ. ඒ නිසා ඊට ඕනෑකමින් බ්‍රිතාන්‍ය රජයට අපි බල කරලා ඉල්ලනවා විශේෂයෙන්ම අපි බ්‍රිතාන්‍ය ජනතාවගෙන් මහා බ්‍රිතාන්‍ය ජනතාවගෙන් ඉල්ලනවා ඔවුන්ගේ නායකයන් තවත් රටක බෙදුම්වාදයකට උඩගෙඩි දෙන්න තවත් රටක ජාතිවාදයකට පණ දෙන්න මේ දරන උත්සාහයට එරෙහිව නැගී හිටින්න කියලා අපි සාමකාමී ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදය අගයන මහා බ්‍රිතාන්‍යයේ සියලුම රටවැසි ජනතාවගෙන් ඉල්ලනවා. ඒ වගේම ගෝල්ඩන් බ්‍රවුන්ලට මිලිබෑන්ලට ඔවුන් බලාපොරොත්තු වුණා මිනිමරු ත්‍රස්තවාදය බේරගන්න ආරක්ෂා කරගන්න කොටි නායකයෝගේ පණ බේරගන්න ඒ සියල්ල විවර්ත වුණා ඒ කිසිවක් ඔවුන්ට කරගන්න බැරි වුණා. අද ඒ නිසා සූදානම් වෙනවා නැවත මුල ඉඳලා බෙදුම්වාදයට උඩගෙඩි දීලා පණ ගන්න.
But returning to that formation of a new organisation representing Tamils, which meets in London today. The Global Tamil Forum promises to represent the international Tamil community and continue its campaign for self-determination, but in a non-violent way. Its conference is to be opened by the British Foreign Secretary, David Miliband, later. The Tamils have been seeking statehood from Sri Lanka for over 30 years, but a violent resistance from the Tamil Tigers was eventually crushed by government troops last May. Well, joining me is Father S.J. Manuel.
After May 19th of last year, we are facing a new situation where we have to mobilize the diaspora Tamils. There are over 1 million diaspora Tamils in the whole world, and we wanted to mobilize them and to help the well-being of the people in Sri Lanka, of all communities, especially the Tamils who have been the victims for a long time. Okay, and we have spread out our activities into various fields, that is humanitarian, human rights, and victims of war, and the political goal, everything together as one, a democratic, transparent organization for the globe, for the whole world. We are not at all interested in any underhand or suspicious ways. We are transparent, we are democratic, our organizations are registered in all the countries and even in Britain, and we have invited a Buddhist monk and a Muslim theologian for this conference today, and I am a Catholic priest against violence. I am heading this organization. You can't make baseless suspicions about this organization.
Right Honourable David Miliband doesn't need introduction, but anyway I'll give it a try. He's a member of the Parliament for South Shields since 2001, and with his younger brother Ed Miliband, they are the first siblings to serve in the cabinet since Austin and Neville Chamberlain. Appointed as the Foreign Secretary of Great Britain when he was 41, he is the youngest Foreign Secretary in the past 30 years. Foreign Secretary Miliband was the first foreign minister of any country to call for a humanitarian ceasefire during the beginning of last year, following a call by the Prime Minister at the Parliament during the parliamentary debate in January 2009. Right Honourable David Miliband went to Sri Lanka in April along with the French Foreign Minister to see for himself the conditions inside the camps for internally displaced persons in the north of Sri Lanka where the Tamils were held. Since the end of the fighting last May, The UK has remained at the forefront of international efforts to encourage an equitable and lasting peace in Sri Lanka. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and very warmly welcome Right Honourable David Miliband, the former Secretary of the United States.
I want to very warmly welcome all of you to the House of Commons who've come from around Britain, and welcome you to Britain, those of you who've come from around the world. I think that it is very significant indeed that the Global Tamil Forum should have brought people together from 14 countries. That in itself is a huge achievement. It is a reflection of the breadth of the Tamil diaspora around the world. And I hope it speaks to a newfound unity that will serve the rights and hopes of the Tamil people in Sri Lanka. It's also important to recognise the history that's associated with Britain's relationship with Sri Lanka. The father spoke about this, and I hope that not just historians but Tamils will come to look back on this meeting in this building as being a time and a moment of significance for the future of the Sri Lanka movement. I also want to say that the foundation of the Global Tamil Forum, the inauguration of its international work, is an important moment for politics, and above all politics in Sri Lanka, because there is no substitute for political voice in asserting political rights. Tamils know to their cost the price of violence against them and in their name. We know that the civil war is over, but the civil peace has yet to be built. And it is the dedication of this organisation to build a lasting, equitable and durable political civil peace that I think is the test of all of our efforts. I want to commend very, very strongly your decision to not just to support non-violence but to advocate non-violence. I think that history has shown time and again that lasting peace is not found through weapons and through warfare, but through politics, however hard it is to persevere with it. And the road ahead, no doubt, will be long and hard in some ways that I will describe in a moment. But I think the founding commitment, not just to a fully inclusive political process, but to support non-violence as the means to achieve it, is something that speaks to the deepest values of the Tamil people, and actually, as I will say later, to the deepest values of people everywhere. Perhaps I should say why I'm here. It's not just that London is the venue for this important meeting, it's that the importance of establishing a lasting peace in Sri Lanka matters. It matters because of the deep links that exist between Britain and Sri Lanka, the deep links that exist between British people and Sri Lankans of all kinds. And it's also that the future of Sri Lanka is important to the future of South Asia more generally. Any foreign secretary would want to be here to listen but also to talk. And we know that today landmines are still scattered across the former conflict zone. The lack of infrastructure, the lack of electricity, the lack of irrigation, poverty rates in Tamil areas at least double those in the other provinces. And after the spike in violence that preceded the end of the civil war, nearly 100,000 Tamils still remain in IDP camps, unable to return to their homes. And I will never forget the faces that I saw in the IDP camps in Sri Lanka 15 months ago. I will never forget the stories that I was told of innocent people separated from their families and of profound fear about the future. And whenever I think of that statistic of 100,000 people still in IDP camps, I think of individual men, women, and in some cases young teenagers talking to me about all they wanted was to be treated as a decent human being, able to go about their lives in a decent way. And that's what motivates me, and it's what motivates the Prime Minister, and it's what motivates the government, to try to make a difference through the humanitarian agencies who should be given far greater access and freedom of manoeuvre. We also continue to urge the government of Sri Lanka to return the remaining IDPs to their home areas, to grant full access to NGOs. And we do not forget either the 11,500 or so ex-combatants also still in camps. Now, despite the scale of this humanitarian crisis and the need for us to focus on it as a matter of urgency, we do not forget the longer term. Because anyone who cares about the future of Sri Lanka knows that it will not be built by aid alone. It must be built through a new political settlement. Since the end of the civil war, since the re-election of President Rajapaksa, as we look forward or await the parliamentary elections, we continue to make the case that the President should use his mandate for a real drive for national reconciliation, a real drive to respect the rights of every single Sri Lankan, a real drive to fulfill the commitments to constitutional and other reform that would make a difference. Now, to do this, there needs to be greater effort to respect the rights of all Sri Lankans. It is because of our concern about the implementation of core commitments in respect of human rights conventions that we, along with 26 other members of the European Union, supported the European Commission's recommendation to suspend Sri Lanka from the benefits of the GSP Plus trade programme. And it will require you to speak up for a spirit that recognises that if people cannot find a way to live together, they will drift apart.